Hey everyone, my name is Daniel and I'm a DP. So lately I've been shooting quite a few commercials and documentaries of a whole bunch of different kinds of subjects. So I thought I could show you guys some extracts of some clips and maybe do some breakdowns. So this first one is a Halloween special for Smashburger actually. So I'm going to play it back first so we can check it out.
Hola, bienvenido a Smashburger. ¿Qué deseas ordenar?
No sé qué está pasando. Aquí no hay nadie, pero todo es súper raro.
Aquí está tu orden.
Gracias.
Con gusto.
Sustos que darán gusto. Durante el mes de octubre, al comprar tu Smash Hit favorito en combo, tendrás la posibilidad de obtener un premio fantasma debajo de tu liner. Son 4 distintos. ¿Estás listo?
Okay, for this production I was a DP. We had a director, a gaffer, a grip, and a PA. The camera I used was a ZCam E2. It's the original E2, just a 4K one with a micro 4/3 mount. The lenses I used were mostly cinemated Nicors. I used the 20mm f2.8, 35mm f2, 85mm f1.4, and I used also the Helios 44-2 for some of the close-ups. So the look I was trying to achieve was this sort of Stranger Things, very high saturated, high contrast kind of look, like kind of retro. So it was pretty simple. The only thing that was a little different was the in-camera ghost effect that we used. I actually got this idea from a video from Film Riot, so I'll link that video down in the description below. I had never done this before and I thought it would be kind of fun to try it out and not rely on VFX or posts for this ghost kind of thing. Okay, so this is the first scene we're going to break down. It's pretty simple. It's just this girl walking in. It's pretty much the establishing shot of the whole little clip. So what we can see right now is we have right here, this was a 1K tungsten with just a CTB filter on it. We used the barn doors to create this little slash that you see on the ground. This was sort of inspired by like these alien films where there's this ray of light that guides people towards certain things. So the idea was to have this slash like guiding this girl towards the Smashburger. Okay, as you can see, we have these practicals on. These were part of the restaurant actually. All these little like LED strips up here, on the sides, on the doors. So that was a practical we leaned on. We have the Smashburger sign on top. Okay. Actually, the whole shot was exposed for this neon sign because I didn't want it to blow out, so I exposed, and I couldn't control it, so I had to expose for this sign and light accordingly. Okay, back here we have a Godox FV150 just filling in the background, just so it didn't go to complete darkness. Okay, so inside the restaurant we have just a few of the house lights turned on, just so it doesn't go out to complete darkness. We have these specular highlights that balance out the darkness. Okay, we can also see this little green kind of detail, and these were Nan lights, Pavo tube. These were Nan light Pavo tube 6Cs, the little like 10-inch or 7-inch RGB tube lights. So I had them hidden behind here. Alright, so that's it for the first scene. Okay, the lens I used for this first little shot was the 20mm f2.8. Okay, so for this next scene, I think it turned out pretty nice. We used quite a few practicals. So, okay, so for this shot, the key light was the Godox FV150 through an octa with grid, and it had a CTO gel on it. So I pretty much shot everything balanced to tungsten. Camera was set to the white balance 4000 Kelvin, and I wanted to shoot everything balanced in tungsten so I could use some daylight LEDs and have them look a little bit more blue. Okay, so now on to the practicals. We have quite a few. We have up here in the lamps, we have some aperture B7Cs set to red. And down here we have some tube lights, some Pavo tubes, 6Cs, and they are green. Outside we had these little like Christmas lights. I just wanted to create some specular highlights, and the back part over here was a little bit too dark, right? It was falling into blackness. So I just added these Christmas lights to add some specular highlights and not have pure black. Okay, so for this shot, I wasn't too happy about how this one turned out, but we were kind of cramped in this weird spot, and it was a weird angle, but it was a shot that we needed for this reaction. So we couldn't use the big LED, the Godox, for her key. So the only thing I could think of in this really short time we had was for her key light, I just boomed the little Pavo tube just outside of frame, probably around up here somewhere on a little boom arm. And yeah, that's what gave us our key light. As you can see, it's pretty harsh in this shot, but we do maintain this far side key and a little nice little Rembrandt triangle right there. So that was the key light. So it was just keyed by this Pavo tube, the 6C on 3200. So once again we had negative fill all camera left. Once again we had these little practical, the Pavo tubes in RGB mode, just tucked away in different little spots. And that's pretty much it. As for lighting, here you can really see like the dead pixels of the projector on this spot here where you see this like yellow coloring of the projection. We really tried, I did the color for this video, and I really tried to minimize what was happening there, but you can still see it, and it's not terrible. Like this is just for like social media and stuff, so it's meant to look kind of like funny and exaggerated. But here once again you can see like this blue streak was a streak of dead pixels. I think what we really accomplished is that we really avoided like the light to hit the screen. There's this like transparent like curtain material that's across this whole cashier section. So yeah, I think it's not that bad. The ghost is out of focus, and that was intentional, just keep it a little more realistic. And yeah, that was it for this shot. Okay, so this was actually the first shot we got done. It was the one that took the most work. Like the wide shots are always the ones that you put the most, invest the most time in. So this was yeah, the first one we got done. So for her key light, once again shooting into the shadows, far side key. This time we have the Godox 150V, FV150, I'm sorry, through the octa and the grid. Just really controlling the light pretty much on her. Okay, for this hair light we have the 650 watt Airy. Okay, that was the hair light. We have negative fill all camera left. Just snagged everything, all the windows, the floor, everything camera left was filled with black fabric, just to keep these contrast levels pretty high. Okay, this blue streak back here, not the sign, but this blue wash was the 1K tungsten outside with the CTB. We have these practicals were the B7Cs with the red color, red orange kind of color, and yeah, we have these practicals, just a sign. That was a nice little like blue color, and it contrasted with the like the tungsten key light and the red practicals. It was just a nice combination. And also we have these little tube lights hidden behind the counters. So these were the Pavo Tube 60s. Once again, this theme of red, green, and blue was just spread out across the whole clip or the whole video. And yeah, just like high saturation, sort of Stranger Things vibe going on here. Okay, so this shot is pretty simple. It was pretty much just a close-up of the previous shot. We pretty much kept everything the same, all the practicals, same colors, everything, right? Pretty much kept everything all the same. We just pushed in the key light a little bit more just to sweeten it up and soften it out, but it was the same setup, right? The Godox 150 through the Octa, and everything was the same. We had the same hair light, we had the same moonlight, same negative fill, camera left. Alright, so yeah, we just pushed in and we shot this on the Helios 44-2. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Okay, so this next shot was pretty interesting. I experimented a little bit with the lens. We shot this one on the Nikkor, the 20mm. And the inspiration for this shot was actually the music video Thriller of Michael Jackson. That whole video has like a whole segment of like a short film, which is really cool. So for this one, we flipped everything around pretty much. For the key light, once again, we had a far side key. We had same setup, the Godox FV150, through the same setup, through the Octa and the grid. Right. This time we didn't use the hair light because it was it just didn't feel it was necessary. It was washing out just a little bit, but we did add negative fill right here. This camera right, this side. This time camera right. Again, we used all the practicals over here. You can see the B7Cs just in a red color. And over here, just tucked away, we have the green Pavo tubes. Also in the background, like over here, you can see just a little bit of the moonlight. It's just the 1K. Just so the outside didn't fall to complete darkness, and we still had a little bit of detail. Okay, so on this shot, everything changed. Basically, we went from this like dark, low-key horror kind of look to this now commercial, like normal commercial high-key look. So like the first thing you can see is that the white balance is now, we shot this at 5600K. Yeah, and everything is like the contrast, the ratios are a lot softer, right? So for the key light, we used pretty much the same setup, just the Godox 150 through the Octa. This time we didn't use the grid because we wanted a little bit more wrap, a little bit more spill, and just like a more high key kind of look. Over here you can see we have the hair light, which is the 650 watt Airy. We have a few practicals. Okay, and for room tone, all this background lighting is we bounced 3 Godox 150s towards the ceiling. Here we bounced 3 FV150s towards the ceiling. We had white ceilings and walls, so it was pretty easy just to create a uniform room tone all over with these LEDs bounced into the ceiling. So this gave us like this high key kind of look. And this was shot on the Nikkor 35mm. Okay, so this next shot was pretty much the same. Same commercial high key daylight kind of look. It was obviously not during the day. It was obviously at night, but this is like the normal look of the restaurant, right? Okay, for the key light, we have pretty much the same setup with the Godox 150 through the Octa. Once again, without the grid, just to have a little more wraparound on the face. We have the 650 watt Arri for the hair light. That's pretty much it for the Talent. We removed all the black, like the neg, because we wanted to have a little less contrast for these shots. All the practicals were set back to the 3200, like the normal look that they would have for house lights. Okay, so obviously we removed all the green and red practicals and the little RGB tubes and lights that we had, because this was a completely different look, opposite to the horror look, right? This was shot with the Helios 44-2. Alright, so that was the first breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's the first time I do one of these YouTube video breakdown kind of things. I hope it wasn't too bad. Any comments or questions, just leave them below and I'll be glad to help. So see you guys next time.